Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of PPR Esports. I'm your host, Besteon. We are live right now from the Bahrain circuit, in for an exciting edition for our second race of the season. And we've got a very full field tonight. We have 16 cars on the grid. Starting off tonight's festivities, we have Boss Cookie on a flying lap right now. Into turn one, hard on the brakes, on the hards. Trying to send it a flying lap here. Flying into another downhill braking portion here, Boss Cookie. Coming out another tough downhill braking zone into the middle straight here, kind of a unique feature on this track. MRC Loki setting the fastest time of the session out 1:28.7. That's going to be on the softs. Also, you come uphill, very careful and take that inside curb, it can send you spinning. Now the run down to the final turn of the lap here before heading down the pit straight. A little deep on the exit, not bad though, taking copious amounts of curb. DRS wide open, and that will put him at a 1:29.1. It's a provisional 5th place now, looks. Caspita here on the flying lap. Going for the medium tires. Very common strategy here at Bahrain is to go for these one-stop. A lot of the drivers I spoke to before tonight's race were talking about the importance of not having to pit twice. This track is known for eating up the softs pretty handily. Doing well to stay off that inside curve. Top of the hill now, to the final straight here. Keeping it in 7. Great exit into the final turn. Down towards the finish line. DRS wide open. That should put Caspita out of about a provisional pole on the mediums at 1:28.5. Well done to Caspita. It looks like Reimer's going to take that throne away from Caspita with a 1:28.5. Got Loki here on an outlap on the softs. Probably hunting for a pole position. ride along with Loki here, see how he does for this upcoming hot lap. Tires look nice and warm. He's got the ERS on overtake. Alright, and here we go. DRS wide open, flying down the pit straight. Good not to let the bumps take you offline too much. Hard on the brakes. Down into first. And there's going to be a little short shift. 2 short shifts. Into the second DRS zone. I know a lot of drivers like to take a left-handed line through there on the sand. Not so much for Loki. Tiny lockup there on the front right. Into the left-right complex. Careful to pick your acceleration point there. Sometimes you can go a little too early, get a little snap of oversteer. Patient through there. Well done. Short shift into 4th, 5th, 6th. Tough downhill braking zone right here. Ooh, a little wheel spin there. Could cost him a couple of tenths. Into the uphill, staying off that inside curve, taking a wide line through there at the braking zone. Taking a copious amount of curb on the exit. Coming down to the final turn here. And that is going to do it. There it is. Pole position for Loki, 128.3. That is your time to beat. Let's quickly run through our provisional starting order. We have Loki on pole position, Reimer in second, followed up by B-Dunk in third. We have Kaspera in fourth. Chandler Seda, who my understanding is rocking an illness, is out here tonight setting times at a 128.6. Followed up in P6, we have King Kirk, followed by Boss Cookie. Followed by Jaylee, Bones, Ed, Delirious, Brackish, Saxman, Run the Jewels, Ramrod, Nick, and then Andre Marie setting his first hot lap of the day right now. In the racing point here. Let's ride along with him for this next lap. Nice and easy through turn 1 and 2 there. Taking a lot of curb there on the exit before 3. Into the first big braking zone before the turn complex. Always careful to pick your line entering this area. Go too deep or too shallow, you could find yourself offline for this very crucial traction zone right here. Oh, little snap there. Just what I was talking about. Into the downhill, brake, brake, brake. And he's just about done it. On the power now through the middle straight here. A lot of drivers like to take that far right line there. A little exploits of the game. Staying off that inside curb, good. To the top of the hill. Smooth on the power. Now they'll run into the last corner here. A little bit of traffic ahead, but it shouldn't be an issue for Andre Marie. On the brakes. Nice smooth exit there. Really taking the time to use all that off camber. Not getting too crazy. And well done. It's going to be a 128.7 for his first hot lap. And that's going to be on the mediums. Very solid qualifying from Andre Marie. Gotta say, a lot of interesting strategies going tonight. There's some folks opting for the soft tires, some opting for even the hard tire. B-Dunk setting a sensational time on the hard. Oh, Boss Cookie taking pole with a 127 on the mediums. Your new time to beat. Let's ride along with King Kirk here as he goes for his hot lap. provisionally set in P8. Nice and easy through the first 2 turns here, Kingkirk. Taking a little curb there on the follow through. Into the left, right. Taking an early turn there. Looking for that inside line traction into the braking zone. Nice and easy on the power there. Well done. No wheels, too much wheel spin actually. Tiny lockup, but not too much. Always better to be a little slower though, because he'll make up for it on the exit. Flying down the middle here. Into the uphill section. Running a little wide, not to worry. Inside line here. Through the uphill. Not too much curve on the exit. Keeping up all 4 wheels on the tarmac there. Making the run down to the final turn here. Let's see what kind of exit he's going to have. Nice to keep the traction to the off-camber turn. Oh, and that's going to be a dive into the pits. Aborting the lap. Thought better of it for some reason. I thought he was on a flyer. Got a couple cars here on outlaps. Right along with Jay Lee here. Jay Lee, one of the rookies, was on for a sensational result last week before tragedy struck in the final stages of the Melbourne race. Only 2 minutes to go in qualifying here. If you're looking for track evolution, now's going to be definitely be the time for that. All right, Jay Lee, let's see. Into turn 1, a little late on the gears there. Not to worry though, a little short shift. Into 2 and 3. Getting the DRS wide open there. Into 4. Ooh, Chandler Seda taking pole position on the mediums there. Into the downhill braking for Jay Lee. Very smooth exit. Good not to be too overzealous on the throttle there. So far, so good with a good run down here to the final turn. Tiny bit deep, but not too much on the exit there. And across the line, it's going to be a sixth place for Jay Lee Bones. Boss Cookie looking to challenge for pole position here on his outlap right now. Only a minute to go in qualifying. Taking a bit of a generous line through there. Gotta get back to the start line, I suppose. Running out of time. Wonder if these cars in their outlap are gonna make it. It's looking a little close, I gotta say. Chandler back into the pits. Boss Cookie not likely to make it here. B-Dunk, our title defender, just making it into the final corner, trying to back the pack up. Taking a smooth line to start his flying lap. It's like Andre Marie is retired from the session. Really pushing on this lap now for B-Dunk. No, he's got to make up some time here to get a little higher up the grid. Into the downhill braking. Smooth on the steering. Touch a wheel spin there. Into the downhill braking. Keeping it nice and tidy through there. Onto the middle straight. Bit of a clunky exit there for the uphill. Lost a tiny bit of momentum. Taking the inside line through the uphill. Tiny lockup. Yeah, very gratuitous exit mounting that curve. Could cost him a couple tenths with that lockup. We will just see fuel running dangerously low. Into the final turn, DRS wide open, and across the line, that's going to be a front row start for B-Dunk. What an effort in the closing stages of qualifying there. Well done to him. So, your provisional starting order, unless that is everyone, we're going to have Chandler Seda as our pole sitter, followed up by B-Dunk. Second row, we're going to have Boss Cookie and Ed. Third row, we're going to have Saxman with MRC Loki, followed by Jaylee Bones and Caspita in 7th and 8th, respectively. And to round out the points-paying positions off the line, we have Reimer and Nick. In P11, we have Delirious, P12, King Kirk. Finally, down 13th, we have Andre Marie, followed by Brackish. Run the Jewels in 15th, and rounding on the back, we're going to have Ramrod F1 in 16th. Well, folks, that was a very, very tight qualifying with the top 5 only separated by a matter of hundredths. Should be a very, very exciting race. Well, folks, there you have it. That's your qualifying. We're going to move on to the race. It's going to be 29 laps around the Bahrain circuit in Sakhir. Bahrain International Circuit held its first Grand Prix in 2004. It has a circuit length of 5.4 kilometers. The lap record is held by Pedro de la Rosa with a 1:31 in 2005. There are 15 turns, 2 DRS zones, 1 along the pit straight, 1 between turns 10 and 11 after the downhill left-right complex, and before the uphill right-left complex. Last year's winner was, I believe, Lewis Hamilton off the top of my head. You'll have to forgive me if I'm not correct. I know a lot of you out there will remember the heartbreak for Charles Leclerc at this Grand Prix last year with an engine failure. It was a gremlin in the turbo, I believe. Some weird engine issue. Ended up costing him the victory. But, yep, typical Ferrari. Here we go for the formation lap now. Get those tires and brakes nice and warm. Had the opportunity to speak to a lot of the drivers before the race. Our pole sitter, Chandler Seda, had a sensational week in Melbourne, making up 14 places to finish on the podium. Behind him, we have B-Dunk. Had an opportunity to talk to him before the race. He had a couple comments. Last race, he felt was more of a recovery race for him. Feels the ceiling probably could have been higher. Actually had an incident involving Andre Marie, who's in the Racing Point. Today he's looking to get back on the podium or win and continue his title defense. And most importantly, make a one-stop strategy work, which seems to be going around quite a bit here. Boss Cookie, who won in Melbourne, said he had some issues with lapped cars actually last race. Though Codemasters has been known for their issues. Sometimes the ghosting can become a bit of an issue, and lapped cars are not disappearing, unfortunately. So he had an issue with that. He still believes that B-Dunk and Chandler are very heavy competitors, and he feels that a good quality is key to the race, and I think he's done well to put it on second row start here. We have Ed sitting in P4. All right, we're all lining up on the grid now. Race will start once the last car is lined up in their grid box. Right along with Boss Cookie here through the start. As the final cars pull to their pit boxes. Excuse me, not their pit boxes. There's grid places. All right, here we go. It's going to be... It is lights out, and we are underway here at the Bahrain International Circuit. Chandler with a great getaway there. Boss Cookie taking the inside line with a Schumacher chop back to the inside, outside. Looks like a clean getaway for most of the cars there. Everyone keeping it clean through turns 1 and 2. Into turn 3. We got Ramrod falling down the order. Got yellow flag in sectors 1 and 2. Ramrod, Andre Marie Kingkirk all the way to the back. Has there been some kind of incident? And that looks like PPR Nick in the gravel there, trying to rejoin the circuit. Stewards will have to have a look at that one later. Got a yellow flag in sector 2. That's going to be PPR Nick slipping to the back of the pack here. Here we go into the uphill portion. Chandler, followed by B-Dunk, followed by Boss Cookie. Keeping it very tidy so far. Bit of a wiggle there from Saxman, looking for traction. Those medium and hard tires usually a little more difficult to warm up than the softs, as they don't quite have as much grip. And that's going to be your first lap of the race here as we come down the pit straight. We have Chandler Seda followed up by B-Dunk, followed up by Boss Cookie, Saxman, and Ed. Then in 6th we have Reimer and Jay Lee. And that's going to be Ramrod and Nick into the pits, and a retirement from PPR Nick. Our very first retirement of the day on the first lap. What a shame. What a shame. Ken Carriger and Ramrod now exiting the pits, and they're going to be about a stop behind the rest of the field. It's looking like more of a recovery race for them. And that looked like Saxman running wide on the exit there. Going to be a tight battle coming into the turn here. Saxman coming out on top. Ed looking for a good opportunity to pass here. Might want to think about the pit straight. Lots of drivers taking that wide line on the exit there. Oof, Ed right on his gearbox. Into the pit straight. No DRS will be available on this lap. B-Dunk just falling out of DRS range there. Alright. Here goes Ed. DRS wide open. He's just not going to be close enough to make the move here. Jay Lee Bones making a move on Caspita. Ferrari and the Mercedes battling it out here. Jay Lee taking a defensive line through there. And we will see which line they pick into the final braking line. Oh, and that is going to be Jay Lee running wide. Felt the pressure there from Caspita. That will cost him 3 positions. Reimer now looking to close in on Ed. Here within 4 tenths. Let's see if he can get some good traction on the exit here. DRS is open. He's just a little far back. Might make up some time here at least. So far, there's your winners and your losers through the first stage of this race here. Saxman up 1 position, Reimer up 3 from 9th. And your losers are definitely going to be Jay Lee. He's just lost those positions on that very, very unfortunate run wide. With Brackish up 4 positions from 14th. Put him in a points-paying position. Right on here with Boss Cookie closing up on B-Dunk. For those of you following along at home, Double OT not making the roster tonight. Fun fact, this is his least favorite track. So I'll let you guys at home put 1 and 1 together. Oh, B-Dunk faking the pit stop there. Interesting. Maybe just a slide. Boss Cookie's going to go for the move here on the inside into turn 1. Hard on the brakes. Let's see if he can hold him off. Going defensive. Just trying to keep B-Dunk in his rear view. B-Dunk's going to come back at him here with DRS. It looks like Cookie's got the move done. Great battle forming right here in the front of the pack. All the while, Chandler Seda fighting off a fever of 104 is riding off into the sunset with a gap of about 2.2. B-Dunk trying to set up the move here. Just trying to stay within that sweet, sweet DRS range to come back at him here on the next lap. Just see if he can get it done. Gap's only down to 3/10 now. Boss Cookie feeling the pressure. Not going defensive quite yet. Just holding his line. Touch of a lockup from B-Dunk there. And here we go, folks. Down the pit straight. A DRS is going to be wide open. Boss Cookie not going defensive. And that will be that. B-Dunk taking back P2 there. No sweat, no hustle, no worry whatsoever. Nice and smooth turns 2 and 3. We got a yellow flag in Sector 3. And now a yellow flag in Sector 1. Saxman losing the position there to Ed. B-Dunk doing well to pull out the lead there. We got a close battle heating up back here. There's going to be Saxman right past Ed there. We got a 3-car pack forming. Followed with Saxman leading it, followed by Ed and Reimer. Loki only 3 seconds behind, maybe looking to get in on the action if this trio will start fighting one another. Into the uphill complex. Let's see who can keep it close. Who wants it more? Reimer keeping a close eye from behind. Only 3 seconds behind is Loki, who is wearing a black helmet in honor of Kobe Bryant tonight. For those of you who have been following the news, a NBA great was lost this week, unfortunately. Our thoughts go out to his family, as well as any Laker fans out there who are in mourning. We're with you here at PPR, and we wish you well. Back to the race, though. This 3-car pack staying nice and close, just trying to stay in each other's slipstream. Keep this race moving, not going too defensive. Looks like Boss Cookie's closing up again here on B-Dunk. Nothing to speak of quite yet. Got Reimer tucked in right behind Ed's gearbox. Hoping for any kind of snap of oversteer, maybe running wide. Anything he might be able to benefit from. All 3 cars just keeping it very, very close here. Andre Marie making a move on Run the Jewels. So far, the only outlying strategies I can see, Loki's most likely going to have to stop within about 3 laps. Jaylee Bowens will be good on those softs, or about 9 or 10, depending on how well he can look after himself. But it looks to me that the 4th, 5th, and 6th place cars might be looking to react for an undercut in a little bit of time here, maybe 7 or 8 laps time. Oh, and that's going to be a love tap there from Reimer, letting Ed have the position back. Always good to see sportsmanship there. follow along with Andre Marie. Oh no, what has happened here? Loki's into the pits. And we've got Run the Jewels looking to close up on Andre Marie. So the first through 10 place cars have yet to stop. Very interesting strategy choices here. Some going for the overcut, some going for a more aggressive strategy by using the softs. Looks like the gaps here are starting to give us a little field spread. Rod on board with the leader, Chandler Seda here. Power of ibuprofen and Gatorade, folks. Putting on a masterclass so far here. Now pulled out a 2-second lead over his rival, B-Dunk. Boss Cookie trying to get back within the DRS there. Be interesting to see which of these three cars will react to the pits first. Had an opportunity this week to catch up with a lot of the drivers after their first race in Melbourne. I had a chance to sit down with Chandler. He actually lists Bahrain as one of his least favorite tracks. Well, guess you'd have to see it to believe it. He's only leading by about 2.5 seconds. His goal for the season is to win the title, a very lofty goal indeed, especially with B-Dunk mounting a very good defense so far through the season. He likes to describe his driving style as aggressively smooth, in quotes. You have to be smooth. You'll never be quick without being aggressive. Very sage advice from an experienced racer. Alright, 10 laps into the Grand Prix here. I'll run you through the order one more time. We have Chandler Seda sitting in P1, followed by B-Dunk. Then in third, we have Boss Cookie, followed by Saxman. Fifth place, Ed, followed by Mr. Reimer and Caspita. In eighth, ARL, then Andre Marie, and Run the Jewels round out your points-paying positions. After that, we have MRC Loki in 11th, followed by King Kirk, then J. Lee Bones, who's had a very, very rough start to this race, down in 13th. Then we have Ramrod and Delirious rounding out the rear, and it looks like we've got some action happening back here between the McLaren and the Alpha. The Alpha on much, much newer tires. Loki just trying to make his way back through the field here. This is actually Loki's first race of the season, believe it or not. Did not participate in last week's Grand Prix. And he is seeking a points finish. Well, Loki, you're up into 10th now. Let's see if you can hold it. Show a little love for our back markers and the Red Bulls here. Little teammate battle between Delirious and Ramrod. Delirious trying to close up on him on slightly newer tires. Not by much, though. Keeping that gap at about 0.6. We've taken a lot of the curb on the entrance there. Let's ride along board with him. Oh, Ed making a move on... There you go. There's your first reaction to the pits. We'll cut to that now. Got Reimer passing them. B-Dunk's going to make it out of the pits first, followed by Boss Cookie. Saxman onto the hards as well as Caspita. Likely going to be their last stop of the race. Going to have to make those hards work for about 18 more laps here. Let's go back to Delirious. Delirious going to unleash that fully charged battery on this pit straight now. DRS wide open. Here he comes. Teammate not going defensive quite yet. Into the braking zone. And a beautiful late braking move. Can he make it stick? Unfortunately, he can't. Ramrod's going to hold the position. Coming back at him again. Ramrod doing well not to make any mistakes. Just taking the racing line, not getting too fancy. Delirious going around the outside of his teammate into the braking zone. Not quite got the move to, oh no! Ramrod conceding to his teammate. Hopefully not trying to recreate any Baku instances here. We got Ed and Mr. Reimer diving into the pits here, going onto the hards. Run the Jewels looking to be on a very offset strategy. Got Run the Jewels closing up on Caspita there, keeping it within a tenth. Slight lockup from Ramrod. And it looks like Chandler Seda is gaining on our leader. And that will do it back here. Check in on our front runners. Likely Chandler will probably not try to put too much pressure on Brackish and kind of let him Moses effect his way through. No point in grinding up your tires over a guy who's likely going to have to pit in about 5 or 6 laps time. He's looking for the move. Nothing quite yet. Seda probably going to have him here on the pit straight. And it's going to be no contest. Brackish letting him by. Well done there. Good sportsmanship. Let the faster car through. Got Loki looking to make some gains on those softs on Reimer. Still on that very aggressive strategy. It's going to be difficult to make those softs last as long as they are prescribed to. A lot of inter-team conflict so far through this race, but everyone's kept it mostly clean. The two teammates holding formation here, not doing anything really uncharacteristic. All the while, Caspita looming in their rear view, only about 2 seconds behind. 2 alphas down the middle straight here. Loki's got his DRS open. Reimer going very defensive. Get a yellow flag in Sector 1. And that is Delirious slipping to last. Oh, we got Saxman closing up on Andre Marie. Go live to him. Toro Rosso. Only on 3-lap old tires. We'll probably get the move done here, no problem. And that is that. Up into 5th place. Great overtake. Andre Marie trying to come back at him. Saxman doing well to fend him off there. The 2 racing points eagerly closing in, looking for some kind of move here. Marie on very old tires will probably have to pit sooner or later. Maybe not with Saxman fighting him and just letting him ride off into the sunset. King Kirk into the pits, onto the hards. We'll move Ramrod up to 13th, and that is a retirement, a DNF from Delirious. So Marie's going to let them both through. Setting his teammate free to chase down Saxman. Ed staying in that slipstream, going to be looking for a move here. We got a yellow flag in sectors 1 and 3. Oh, yellow flag in sector 1. McLaren and Boss Cookie in their sights. Ed gonna tuck in here, not get too aggressive through the S complex. Crucially, will be in DRS if it gets this braking zone right before the next DRS zone. He has it. Oh, Saxman looking for traction there. Can Ed take advantage on the exit? Might not be enough real estate there, folks. It looks like he will have to think about the pit straight instead. Both these cars on evenly matched tires. Oh, Saxman running wide there onto the dirt. Chandler Seda with the new fastest lap at 1:30.9 for Renault. Don't excuse the pop-up. Ooh, a little wheel bang in there. Has he gotten the move done on Saxman? Saxman's going to hold it through the outside with his own DRS, staying just out in front. Ooh, he's run a little wide on the exit. Into the S complex, Ed backing off, not wanting to misjudge a braking zone and punt him into the wall. Or send him to the Shadow Realm, the Super GT might say. Great battle forming here. We got Ramrod diving into the pit, J. Lee Bowens into the pit. Bowens going for the mediums, hopefully going to make up some pace on those. Only 13 laps to go. I can't see him making up more than 2 or 3 positions. We go to our sky cam, get a bird's eye view of the battle forming. Run you through our order one more time. Gonna have Chandler in first, followed by Brackish, who is up 12 positions. Done well to get this race going. We have B. Dunk in third, followed by Boss Cookie, Saxman, and Ed, and Andre Marie here. Then we have Reimer in eighth, Caspita in ninth, Loki into the pits, followed by King Kirk, Run the Jewels, J. Lee Bones, and Ramrod rounding out the back. Ed bringing it back to 3/10 here, and B. Dunk also gaining on Brackish. Right on board with him for a short moment here. Looking to get something done on the middle straight. Brackish trying to break that slipstream. Nice short shift there from B. Don't get on the power a little earlier. Saxman's been awarded a 3-second time penalty. Looks like that will promote results hold, I'll promote Ed and Andre Marie into 5th and 6th respectfully and drop Saxman down to 7th. ARL into the pits. Looks like he needed that. Those tires were getting a little old there. Most of the field's running on the hard tire now, looking to finish the race on those. This midfield battle between Ed and Saxman, as well as Andre Marie, staying very close. Andre doing good to let his teammate try and chase down this Toro Rosso here. Ed is not relenting an inch, keeping all the pressure on, especially knowing that Saxman has that penalty now. He's got to be thinking that he's got a shot here. He's got the DRS open, trying to close that gap as best he can. Into the uphill section. Hard tires doing surprisingly well on this circuit. Ooh, a bit of a wide exit there. Let's hope he's not penalized for that. B-Dunk setting a new fastest lap of the race as a 134. 134. B-Dunk stands to gain 20 points out of this right now, if that holds. Saxman trying to break that slipstream any way he can. It is not to be. Reimer closing up on Andre Marie as well. It's always the one issue with anything designed by Tilke is you get this very nasty field spread. I know many folks split opinions on him. I think Bahrain's one of his better tracks. Not much of an Abu Dhabi fan, though I don't think most people are. Ed falling back by a couple of tenths here. And now we've got Reimer closing up on Andre Marie, trying to get in on the fight here. Oh, he's going to be right in the breadbasket. Long side, DRS open. That overtake is going to get done. Will he hold it through the uphill section? Yes. He has got it. Andre concedes. Reimer up into P6. Run the Jewels being awarded a 3-second time penalty here. Unfortunately, that will take him out of contention for even catching Jay Lee. Ed still keeping it close on Saxman. Chandler Seda been awarded a 3-second time penalty. You have to think, if you're Ed, you gotta wait for Saxman to make a mistake, but he has been very, very tidy through 20 out of 29 laps and has done well to keep his opponent just inside that DRS, but just keeping him far enough out where it's not going to happen. Curious to see what happens in the closing stages of this Grand Prix. Two racing points just keeping the pressure on. Our racing point drivers, Ed and Andre. Let's see how they finished in the last race, shall we? Let's see here. Ooh, Ed closing right up on him. Is he finally going to get the pass done? Has the outside line, and it looks like Saxman's just going to make it stick. Has the inside through turn 2. Ooh. We've got ourselves quite the scrap. Ed coming in hot. Saxman going defensive. Running a touch wide on the exit there. Can Ed capitalize? Looks like he's going to just follow along here through the left-right complex. Andre Marie into the pits on the softs, looking to make a valiant comeback in the latter stages of this race. Folks, this appears to be our closest battle on track right now. Unless you count Chandler and Beaton trading fastest laps. We've got ourselves a proper scrap here between the Toro Rosso and the Racing Point. Ooh, a touch of a lock up there for Ed. That might cost him a great deal of momentum down the pit straight here. Saxman really trying to break that slipstream. Ed bringing it right back to a 3/10 gap. DRS again. Saxman early on the brakes there, trying to give himself perhaps a cleaner exit. So there's a touch of traffic ahead. Oh no, and that is going to be a wide run through there for Ed, and that has cost him 5/10 just outside the DRS range coming into the next zone. Very, very unfortunate for the Racing Point driver. Andre Marie making that comeback on the softs, though. Not much of a change from last week. Boss Cookie and B-Dunk still running in the top there. As well as Chandler. Looks like we will have a 3-way title fight on our hands this year if this keeps up. Is Andre going to go for the move here on Loki? Let's see who's got the Mamba mentality coming into turn 1. Loki going to let him have the position. Gets the braking zone right. And on those soft tires should just be an open and shut case as he flies into turn 4. Loki not giving up the fight quite yet, staying there within 4/10. Still lurking in those rearview mirrors of the Racing Point. Ed slowly but surely clawing his way back towards Saxman. Only 5 laps to go in this race. And our leader, Chandler Seda, has pulled out a 14-second lead. All right, Ed. He's got Saxman in his sights down the pit straight. Will he do the move here? Down the inside. Can he hold him? Well done. Saxman trying to come back around the outside. It just won't be enough. Ed's going to hold the position into the next straight here. But Saxman's not done yet. Coming back on him. DRS open. Oh, and it's going to be wheel to wheel through there. into the downhill complex. Saxman looking for any way through, and Ed's just going to run wide there. Did not see if there was any contact. We'll have to go to the stewards after the race and just see about that. Ed not giving up, though. Just trying to ride the lightning a little bit here. Uphill section's so crucial. You can lose so much time if you don't get your traction right. Caspita closing up on Reimer. Ed in DRS down the pit straight. Let's see how his battery's looking. He's got 30% to go. DRS set in mode 3. I'd say that's just about enough. He's dropped it down to 0. Bringing it right back in the braking zone. Wow, we have got ourselves an instant classic forming here. All the while, Caspit is catching up to Reimer now within 0.2. Right on board with him quickly. The Ferrari driver looking for any way past the Alfa Romeo here. Caspita, who of course did not finish the last Grand Prix, looking to net himself a nice bag of points here in Sakir. Ed now within 0.3 of Saxman. All top 7 cars running on damn near same tires. Ramrod's been awarded a 3-second time penalty. That seems a little inconsequential at this stage of the game. Reimer trying to break that slipstream onto the marbles. Oh, and it's going to be almost nose to butt into the braking zone there. Ed now 0.2 down. Caspita 0.2, 1/10. Ed only 0.08. Ed's made the move done. Caspita's getting the move done on the outside. Will he make it stick with that Alpha on the inside line? It's just not enough. Reimer's back in front, taking that P6. Caspita coming back at him here, has the inside line. Who's going to have the better exit? Oh, and a snap of oversteer from the Ferrari will send Reimer well away from him. What a shame. Only 3 laps to go, and the pressure is on. Can Caspita make up the time? Saxman falling off now. Already 1.4 seconds behind his competitor. All the while, their fighting has actually allowed Reimer and Caspita to come within earshot of them. We could have a very saucy 29th lap of this race if things keep up. Chandler set up with a new fastest lap of the race out of 1:34. Only 2 laps to go now. Our leader's 17 seconds ahead of the second place car. Time for Caspita to unleash the full potential of that Ferrari power down the straight here. He's got the DRS open, battery up in mode 3. He's down to 7/10 gap. He's got him down to 6/10, down to 5/10. Closed up. Ooh, Reimer with a very rough corner there. Now down to 6/10 gap. Folks, this one's going to go to the line. Caspita in the slipstream, doing good not to punch Reimer. How will they do through the downhill complex? Caspita doing well. Give himself a little bit of wiggle room in case Reimer decides to brake early. Reimer charging that battery, hopefully doing anything he can to keep the rabid Ferrari driver off of him. into the next DRS zone. Caspita will be right on his gearbox, only a 0.3 gap. Flying into the uphill section. Looking for anything. We have a yellow flag in sectors 2 and 3. Now in sector 3. Ferrari driver. B-Dunk with the new fastest lap of 1:29.6. Bono, the tires are dead. Boss Cookie dropping a position there. Doing well to stay out of the way of the oncoming cars. Caspita is slowly but surely running out of time. A little bit of traffic up ahead. Blue flags for Ramrod. Shouldn't be much of an issue. Caspita not even running ERS, trying to save it for a desperate lunge, maybe later in the closing stages of this race. Boss Cookie into the pits. Only one lap to go. Most curious what that could have been. Chandler Seda most likely beginning his final lap here. Reimer with a very bad exit there, mounting that curb. Caspita 6/6 500ths, just keeping the gap right there. Blue flags ahead. And Caspita masterfully charged up his battery. Now here comes the heat. Will it be enough? Will he prevail? Here we go, down the pit straight, looking to make a final move. Perhaps a late lunge right here will do it. And there goes Caspita into the braking zone and lock up, and Reimer is just going to scoot right by. Rear tires cooking, boiling maybe, but he's not done yet. Only 0.6. Into the left-right complex. Fuel tank's now empty. It's all or nothing for the Ferrari driver here. Caspita right on Reimer's gearbox. Only a 0.4 gap into the braking zone, keeping it nice and tidy there. Good not to be too early on the gas. He's going to have DRS on Reimer here. Will he get the move done? Patience, looking for that traction. And Chandler Seda is going to be your race winner here in Bahrain. Reimer going defensive. Ferrari driver just keeping it close. Burning off every last ounce of his ERS, every last ounce of fuel in that tank. Chasing him down to the line. Will Reimer hold him off? This is it, folks. Caspita in the slipstream. Reimer doing every which thing he can. Into the last corner. Reimer with a good exit. Caspita with the DRS open, and it's not going to be enough, folks. What a valiant effort from both drivers. A very, very big shout out to Reimer and Caspita. Your finishing order so far, folks. We have Chandler Seda finishing with a 15-second gap over B-Dunk, followed by Ed. Then we have Reimer in 4th, Saxman in 5th, Caspita in 6th, followed by Brackish in 7th. Andre Marie in 8th, Loki in 9th, Boss Cookie in 10th, stealing the fastest lap points to resurrect that race after the damage. King Kirk P11, Jay Lee 12th, Ramrod 13th, Run the Jewels in 14th. And your non-finishers will be Delirious, and I think I missed the other name. Apologies. Folks, that was some excellent wheel-to-wheel combat. What a great race here. Big shout out to our winner. fighting off 104-degree fever to take the win in Bahrain. Michael Jordan, step aside. There's a new flu game. I'm getting word from the pit lane now. Here, Boss Cookie had a puncture with 2 laps to go. Such a shame. Such a shame. But hey, the rest of our racers, what a great race. Mr. Reimer going from 9th up to 4th. ARR Braxton from 14th to 7th. And Andre Marie up to 8th. Looks like our 2 non-finishers, they were PPR Nick and PPR Delirious. Folks, that'll do it here from Bahrain. As always, I'm your host, Best Teon. Thank you for joining us for another great edition of PPR Racing. Please join us next week. We will be live from, I believe it is, I'm forgetting the schedule. I believe it's Baku next week. So I hope you like street circuits. Thank you once again for joining. Excuse me, not Baku. Next week we'll be at the Shanghai circuit. So get your antibacterial masks on, folks. We're going to go where the coronavirus is hot and the food's even hotter. Down in old Chinatown. Looking to get the post-race interviews going here. Would love to know how the hell I make that work. PPR. As always, I'm your host, Best Teon. Thank you for joining, and stay classy. Okay, is that... we can do post-race. Okay.